Welcome home, neighbors.
Hello, neighbors.
We're listening from
Arizona,
Florida,
Maryland, New York, New Jersey,
Minneapolis,
California,
Utah,
Michigan,
Iowa, Massachusetts, Georgia, Canada,
Our home resort is
Animal Kingdom,
Polynesia,
Bay Lake Town,
Old Key West,
Riviera,
Boardwalk,
Alani Resort,
Hilton Head,
Boulder Ridge, Hopper Creek,
Grand Floridian,
Saratoga Springs,
Beach Club,
and Wilderness Lodge.
and you're listening to
and you're listening
You're listening
to
my
my
Well, welcome home, everybody, to My DVC Points Live on February 16th, 2020. And I am joined tonight with our co-host, Samantha, and our regular co-host, Alicia. How you ladies doing tonight?
I'm doing good.
So happy to be back.
Yeah, well, we're glad to have you back. Now, you had some fun in Florida while you were gone. So
Yes, my travel season is over, but it was so fun while it lasted.
yeah, so you probably have, the shortest countdown here? I'm wondering, when everybody's countdown is. So, when are you guys going home? Could you share your countdown? I know mine is at 93 days.
Oh,
So sometime in May is when I'm going home next. I had to think about that when I looked it up just before the show. But I've been in the single digits because every 2 weeks I've been popping down there. Now I got to wait a couple months. So I don't know what to do. I'm going to have some withdrawal.
Yeah, so I'm at 77 days right now, and I'm feeling the withdrawal. I want to be back there right now.
Got it. Alicia, when are you going home?
forever. It's oh my gosh. So we just had the greatest vacation. I love fall, but now I have to go back to work mode. But then we're going to go to Disneyland in Thanksgiving and then not back home until Christmas. So it's a long time.
Oh, that's right. You do have that Disneyland trip going.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, are you driving the RV out there and camping?
No, we
Or-
sold the RV. My husband wants to buy more DVC points.
That's a good husband.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we're going to fly out there, but we are going to stay in a cabin out on the ocean. So we get a little camping kind of feel that way. But flying was just super easy, going from Grand Rapids right into Orlando and Grand Rapids to Sarasota and things like that. 3 hours, that made it kind of easy with a direct flight.
Yeah, no kidding there. No kidding there. So let's see. So Dan Austin is saying 330 days. So
Probably about the same time as I'm going, Dan.
yeah, and Scott's at 330 as well. Or I guess Dan was 300 and Scott was 330. So, and Richard says that he's watching tonight. DHHIR. Help me out here, Samantha.
Disney's Hilton Head Island Resort? Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
I love it.
Okay.
I gotta say,
Yeah.
I did look, and I'm like, ooh, maybe I could rent 24 points and go there for spring break, but it was already booked. I did look. That looks amazing.
Yeah, I'm going to Hilton Head August 5th. So my wait list came through. I had to sign up for a 2-bedroom. And then I looked and some 1-bedroom days popped up. So I modified them one by one. And then I just put a wait list in for the first day. And it was really kind of shocking because I was expecting, based on everybody's post when their wait list comes through, hallelujah. I was expecting fireworks to come out of my email box or something exciting. And all that I saw was this little email saying, here's your reservation. And I'm like, there's no excitement that waitlist came through.
I feel the same thing when I pay off a car, or when you pay off your DVC, loan or things like that. You're like, where's the box that you open up and it says, ta-da?
Yeah, so I never even get an email when my waitlist comes through. I have to go in and manually check all the time because each time mine's come through, I haven't gotten anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's something they could make a little bit more exciting or put a little bit of Disney magic into, because people are definitely come back in and, they're excited about it. And, Garrett comes back in and says, I guess our YouTube comments just kind of all pop. But Garrett says, hey, you have to do the fireworks yourself. So, maybe I'll have to work on that. Okay.
I bet you could make a photo, to make one of these happen. He can turn his face into chipmunks and things like that. Make fireworks happen behind you.
There you go.
Gotcha. And Shannon's got 87 days till hers.
Nice.
Ooh.
And then Gina has 147 days to Walt Disney World. So yeah, I think Gina, you can pop over to Disneyland anytime. So we're a little jealous on that one. But
That's
okay.
pretty cool. We'll be crossing paths. I'll be heading out your way. You head out this way.
Yep. And then our buddy Mark Koppel is saying the good word, 209 days to the next visit. So we'll keep those countdowns rolling on that one. But speaking of which, when you guys go, do you guys buy annual passes or do you buy individual tickets? Because the ticket prices went up not long ago and the annual passes just came out this week. So Samantha, are you AP? Or are you tickets?
So everyone in my house has the DVC Gold annual pass. So there's 4 of us here, and this will be our second year renewing. So our third year being annual pass holders. And for us, it really works because we don't go during the blackout weeks like Christmas to New Year's and Easter. So for us, it really works.
Yeah, I'm for the most part, my family is all gold passes, but I did buy a couple of those extra back like 2 years ago when we could buy the Platinum Plus for the same price as gold. I just now am on my last one of those. So I kind of had them store-piled and stocked up. I think the deal said it expired in a couple of months, but then when you actually put it on your account, you had until, I don't know, 2030 or something like that
Oh,
before they
wow.
expired.
Wow.
Is what it said once you saw them in MDE. So I
Yeah.
figured, well, I'm going to roll with that because that's in writing in MDE. And sure enough, it worked.
Nice. That was a good roll.
Yeah.
And for me, every year, we've got 6 of us, so that's a lot, and we don't get to go there for very many days. So we end up, doing the math. I do the math all day long of like, do I buy the annual pass? Do I not? And when are we booking our vacation for 2021? So we do a lot of math, and we end up, so far we've never been able to buy them. So, and this year again, it's not going to fall for us to buy them because we're going to be there at Christmas. And we're going to California, which it doesn't work there either. So it'll probably just be, just doing the per day kind of thing.
Yeah, the per tickets deal. So right now, my family's APs are down, and that's intentional because, like I said, this summer we're doing a tour of DVC, so to speak. So we're doing Hilton Head, and then coming back over to Walt Disney World for a resort only at Animal Kingdom for 2 nights, and then we're hopping on a DCL cruise, and then we're off the cruise. We're heading just south a little bit down to Vero Beach for 3 nights. And so it'll be almost a 2-week vacation when you set it all up together.
Yeah.
But it really didn't make sense for us to renew annual passes for 1 day in the park. And so we're just going to call it a resort only stay while we're there.
Which is fun. There's so much to do on our resort only days. But I really looked, I think the back and forth is like when I have, how we have to do it. When we have to do it, you're going to get every second out of that day. You only get 3 fast passes. You're there at rope drop. You are there to the close. You don't see any parades. You don't see any shows. You're there for the rides, and that's it.
You're running and gunning, huh?
Yeah, that's it. Like, and we can get through 3 parks in one day. We knock them all off the list, and then we relax for the rest of the trip. But if I had annual passes, and this is the selling feature, is you get 3 fast passes every day of your trip.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be such a more relaxing atmosphere. I would probably still rope drop. I think it's kind of fun, and then so you hop in, you rope drop, you do your, get a little bit done in your day, do your 3 fast passes, and you're off somewhere different for dinner at night, maybe afternoon by the pool, things like that.
So I will tell you, I have not adopted that annual pass lifestyle yet. I still do rope drop to close. I take some time to see a parade. Like if I happen upon it, I'll stop and like watch the Festival of Fantasy parade at Magic Kingdom. But it's pretty much like rope drop, do all the rides, stop for lunch for like 5 seconds, keep going till close.
And now, do you go to the parks? Like, let's say you're there for 6 days. Do you go to the parks for all 6 days? Then?
Every day. Yep.
Yeah. Don't tell my husband that. He wouldn't be in for that.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody.
I know.
Let's just pull in a couple of comments here. Mike is saying 64 days with a gold pass. And then Gina was saying, luckily her husband has a premiere, which I had at one time. And that's a really nice pass. It's super
Wow.
expensive,
That's
but
the one
it's
I would need, right?
yeah, it works
they
on
do
both
both.
coasts. Okay, but it's
Oh,
like
wow.
$2,200 now. It is insanely expensive.
Times 6.
Yeah, times 6. And she says she has a Florida Gold and a Signature Plus for Disneyland, so that gets her into both parks that way.
That's fantastic.
And then Elizabeth is saying, hubby and I have gold passes and the kids just have tickets. That's another really valid strategy there that families are using, where they're getting one person with an annual pass just to get the photo pass.
Oh, yeah, that's a great.
Yeah.
I forgot that about the photo pass.
And
Because
the
the photo
merchandise
pass is like,
discount.
yeah, $169. Well, our blue card will get us that anyways.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a wash on the merch discount, but it will get you free parking if you're staying off property as well. So there's some other benefits to that as well. Mark was saying that he was doing the annual pass, but not going to do more than one trip this year. He's visiting Cape Cod next year and then going to Galveston for a wedding. You're kind of in the same boat that I am, Mark. We're doing, this year was the beach resorts and the cruise, and then next year is over to Disneyland and Alani. So it really did not make sense for us to come back in and buy annual passes. But
and the savings that got you to Alani, right? That's the airfare right there.
There you go.
well, yeah, I mean, in Alani airfares, you're looking at least $1,000 round trip. So
Yeah.
it's about the same cost as the annual pass. So, but now I do still have to buy park tickets for Disneyland, which will still probably be $350 a person. So I'm not really saving that much. But it is what it is. The mouse is going to get all the money no matter what. So that's a quote from Donna Bickert. So the mouse gets all the money.
Investing in memories, right? That's what we
Yes.
do.
But Shannon's saying that she bought the Platinum Pass last June when Sam's Club had them at the old price for $849, and then using it for 6 trips, 38 days at $23 a day.
Wow.
That's fabulous.
Yeah, that is a you have to go a lot. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
You really do. And
Well, I mean, you do, or you have to go a lot when you are there, or double up. Like, so if I go let's say it was valid at Christmas, and then the next year I went at Thanksgiving, and I went for like a week on both, then it would have made sense. But you do have to go at least twice, 2 full vacations.
And that's what we really try to do. We try to come back in and buy an annual pass in August. And then right before school starts, we hit down there. And then our annual pass is up all winter long. So if we pop down twice over the winter or maybe a spring break or something like that, and then we can take the next year's summer vacation and go down in July right before those passes expire. And then we can get 2, 9, 10, 11, 12-day trips out of it, plus some bonus days. And you buy a pass every other year, but you really stretch the value.
Well, and Elizabeth had a great comment over here too. She said that they had a couples only trip in October. And I think that would be awesome. Even if they did it like, like Bill and I had the annual passes and the kids, we just did tickets, so then that way, as we go, I don't know how to take that off of there. There you go. But as we go, then we could hop down just for, that anniversary or things like that.
Yeah, that is. And so, the other thing is, what is your guys' thought on the price increase of this? So it looked to me like it was a little bit higher than inflation, which is what we're used to with Disney. But I guess I'm just used to them just sticking it to us so bad that this didn't seem bad this year. Okay.
Now, did it raise equally for DVC versus like just regular non-members?
No, like the platinum passes and all that went up about $80 each. And then the Florida Gold one went up $20 from $699 to $719. And excuse me. So that didn't seem bad. $20 on our pass did not seem really bad at all. And normally we cover this and we're all going, whining about this, but the other really cool news that broke this week, and the only reason why I knew about it was I got an email from DVC Rental Store saying, hey, replace the ad on your site. We're not paying $15 anymore. We're paying $16 a point.
Ooh.
So I was like, woohoo! Like passes went up.
That's a good increase.
Yeah, but I'm like, passes went up, but we got a decent raise, and it was like 6.67% when you did the math on that. Because it went from $15 to $16 a point. And I was like, woohoo, that is awesome because our dues keep going up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the only way that it becomes viable to keep renting your points out is if what we're paid keeps going up too. So I celebrate every time that thing goes up.
And that's a great way to do it too. I mean, are you able to rent points? It sounds like if you have extra points out there, you can rent like 20, 40, 100 points, make it kind of easy.
Yeah, you come out there and you log on to their website and you see all of the customers that they have in like a list, and you figure out what your home resort is, and you pick something off at the 7 to 11 month range, and you see them saying, "Hey, I want 400 points to I want 30." Okay, and you figure out which of those orders you can fulfill, and then tag it and say, "Hey guys, I'm going to fulfill this one." And then once you do that, they email you the contact info. You go ahead, you make the reservation for the people. You shoot them the official email that comes from Disney that we all get when we make a reservation. And they're like, cool, now that we've got your info, and with me, the cash just shows up in my bank account 3-4 days later. Okay, 75% of it. And then a day or so after check-in, the rest of it comes in. It's a pretty slick system over there.
Has anybody out there, have you guys used either, rented points because you're like me and I've used them all up, or, or out there have been able to rent out your points? I mean, have you guys been able to use any of that before?
Yeah, or done this new cruise swap program that they're really promoting. And this week's episode that's dropping out on the podcast is going to be all about doing this on a cruise swap. And I'm like going, great. Now I got to figure out, am I going to edit the episode from 15 to 16 a point if it was recorded? But I think I'm just going to do it in the pre-show and the post-show as a little editorial note, and then let it slide as is. It's just kind of drive home the point a little bit more. But,
Yeah, see, for me, I never have points left over to rent. That's my problem. I'm like a borrower. So I think I would definitely use the cruise swap program because, I mean, that year we probably wouldn't go to Disney World. We would probably make like the cruise. That would be the vacation for the year for the family. And if I could pay a little bit less for that, even through a swap program, I'd do it.
Yeah, because those cruises are, whew.
Yeah. For
it was
4
like
people.
For 5 people, it was $6,000 for 4 nights. And that was opening day prices.
And they don't like 6 people. I'd have to rent
yeah, you'd have to get 2 rooms.
Yeah.
So, but just circling back through some of the comments here is, Mary says that, the price increase was inconsequential this year, which we agree with 100%.
Yeah, I thought last year's was a lot higher than this year's.
It was that she says that they get 2 trips, sometimes 3 out of the Gold Pass. And we think that's the value proposition is the really great deal. Lauren was commenting, just like you said, 2 years ago, I feel like it was the worst, at least on the West Coast. Yeah. When they were preparing for Galaxy's Edge to open up, they socked it to Disneyland. But Renee comes in and says $20 is negligible. Yeah, I get.
Yeah.
Gina's saying it's not too bad. Here we are paying for Adventures Campus this time, which I am excited about, and I hope it's open by June for my Disneyland Alani trip. I'm going to be bummed because it'll be probably 2 years unless there's a Moonlight Magic that I can get into that's out there. So yeah, I'm hoping that's open. And Lauren saying, strangely, I'm not angry about the price increases. I feel like I'm getting more at the park, so I'm okay with it. And I have
feel
to agree
the
with
same
you.
way. Yeah.
I mean, Galaxy's Edge is pretty dang cool. Okay. And they spent billions with a B on that.
Yeah.
So the $20 there, not that big a deal. And then Grant saying it'll take another recession for them to stop raising prices or lower them if it's really bad. And I don't think we'll see them lowered, but I think they could come out with a DVC discount again, where we could buy the platinum for the gold price as a way to stimulate it. Because even when I did that, I never, ever went during Christmas and Easter. So I felt like I had something, but I didn't ever use it. So it didn't really matter. Okay. But I felt like I did. So I guess that's good business.
Well, and Mary says that the cruises have gone up a lot. That's one of those that I wonder if cruises as a whole is going to be a hit with a lot of the sickness that's going around the globe that maybe they're going to have to, entice us a little harder to go onto a cruise.
Now you just like ruined my summer vacation there, Alicia. Okay.
Let's just put it out there that, I mean, it is a risk. I mean, it's a scary thing today, right now. Like people are like, oh, but I'm sure yours will be great though.
And then, so on to some of the renting comments here. Like Elizabeth Kelly asks, which site was that for? And let me see if I can have it here. They're actually sponsors of my show. So it's DVC Resale Market and DVC Rental Store and Monera Financial. So they sponsor the podcast. I just give them some free airtime in this platform as well, just because we're still building the live show and seeing what's going on. But DVCRentalStore.com, they've been great to work with, like absolutely great to work with for renting points and everything else. And you'll hear more about it this week in this episode that's dropping, because Tony and I dive into this cruise swap program that they're really promoting. And, on our show, we're all about getting the most value for your points. And when I look at Disney Cruise Line and going, man, they're going to pay me double what it's going to take half the points to book through them than it would through Disney Direct. It's a no-brainer for doing that swap. But okay, some of the other comments here. Renee writes, we rented out our points and it was pretty neat to get that extra dollars. Just remember, it's reportable as a tax event as miscellaneous income. That it sure is. And I don't care where you rent from, it's still taxable. Okay. The good news is you can deduct off, or at least this is what I do, and I haven't gotten flagged yet. I deduct off the cost that I paid per point, and then I deduct off the dues from it, and I'm already deducting any interest that comes off of it as a second mortgage kind of a deal. So there's quite a few deductions there to whittle that tax bill down. But if you don't know those or don't do those, it could get a little tricky. See your tax professional for how you're going to work that out for your taxes.
Yeah, because it's like a little side business, right? Once you start renting them out.
Yeah. Yep. So it's considered taxable income. Okay. Now the good news is you can talk to DVC Rental Store. They're working out all of the details and the kinks to do a barter program, like a 1099 swap program, where you don't get the 1099. That's on you to work that out with them. I can just tell you that I know a little bit about it, but I don't know enough about it to like quote it or pitch it. I can just tell you, call them and ask them about it, because that was something that was really just kind of coming up there. Okay. In the up and coming stages. So
that'd be helpful. That'd be super helpful, actually.
Yeah, it sure would be, because I looked at it and went, if our family likes this cruise this summer, when I looked at doing the 7-night ones or the Alaska ones, they were 10, 12, 15 grand.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I'm going, the only way I'll be able to pull that off is if I swap out some points for it.
And I have been on a Disney cruise, and they are fantastic. It was a long time ago, but it's definitely to the next level. So I think you're going to have a great time.
Yep. So, and then Andy writes here, I've never rented points, but I stalked the resale website for 3 times the point contracts to buy out and rent immediately so that I can essentially get a contract for an extremely discounted price. And I did that same trick as well with DVC Rental Store. And I picked up a Bay Lake contract. It was loaded, and I picked it up for like 105 at the time. And then I stripped out all the points, threw some more in it, and pretty much paid for the contract. Now I've kept it. And so it worked out well. You can do that if you really get on it and work it. So, your mileage may vary there, because you're not paying 105 for Bay Lake anymore. You're going to pay at least 145 for that contract now, and it's going to have less years on it. So, but given the low dues at Bay Lake, it works out great for rental. And then if you go to their website, the demand on Bay Lake is through the roof. So there's lots of people asking to rent it, and it really worked out well for me when I did all the math. And Polly is right there with it today. If you're looking for some pro tips on some things to go look for.
And if people were renting, and we needed some more, points to add to our adventures, do you know about what they rent for?
Through DVC Rental Store?
Yeah.
I think they make about a $4 a point spread. So they'll probably be charging $20 a point now, but you can also look for their discounted points, which is something that if, let's say you have to cancel a trip, and I have a February use year, and if I was going to go in October and I cancel a trip in September, I could be past my banking window. Okay. Maybe not September, but let's say it was January and I have to cancel it in October. I can no longer bank those points because it's at the end of my use year. So they're going to die January 31st.
Mhm.
So when people get into that situation, they call up the rental store company and they'll either make pre-made reservations or they'll list their points as being distressed, and you can get them for, instead of $20 a point, $12 a point, 13, 14. I've seen them as low as 10 before, but those go like that. Okay. And for a quick short-term trip, it's not a bad thing to see if there's any that's out there. I do that all the time when I plan a last-minute trip. Is going, can I find another member with some distressed points to come out here and snag for this trip?
Yeah,
So
and it helps everybody.
Yeah, it does. It's a win-win solution for everybody. So it absolutely positively is. So I'm looking through some other comments here. Mary was saying that she needs some BLT points. So I like my BLT points. I'm not going to lie. Okay. I like them for the low dues. I like them for the length of the contract and everything that's there with them.
And location. Ooh.
Yes.
And then Lauren saying, or win the lottery, Chad. That's never a bad idea. Okay? Never a bad idea. I'll take that. But I think that's kind of the key thing with annual passes. It seems like consensus is not that big a deal, but I thought it was really cool that we also got to pair the increase in cost stories with the increase of rental income or the increased value of your points through a swap program through DVC Rental Store. So that part was really cool to me. And I was really glad that I was able to pair those two stories up today because I think they're related. And let's see, moving on to our next item here. We have a trip report, right, Alicia?
I've been a few times. It was so fun. It was so great. So I'm not sure. I again travel a little differently than most people by not having the annual pass. I get to do all these other extra things. But as you guys all helped me this last time, we were able to go to different places. So you guys talked me into going to Old Key West a long time ago. So we booked that for my parents, and my dad turned 90. So we went golfing down there, and we took him out to the, I always say Mongolia, but I think it's Magnolia. I say that wrong.
Okay.
But so they were so sweet. We stopped and took photos at there's a Mickey Mouse sand trap out there, and we took photos of it. Like the deer walk by while you're golfing. Like it is so beautiful and magical, and there's birds, and it's just gorgeous. And it's only like $35 to play there. So, and there is DVC discounts. I don't know if you guys golf. All my golfers write in, tell me some love, and they have some great packages for you guys that do go down more than I do. You can buy, I think it's like $100 or something.
And it comes with a really nice golf shirt too, right?
Yeah, you get a shirt, you get like range balls, you get your buddies in for like a discounted rate. And then mine was the $35, but it includes alcohol. So that's, why I do that. But, so you get a free beer and you get a sandwich, but it was at the end of the day. So they either had hot dogs or sandwiches. My dad ate those sandwiches for 3 days. I mean, so it was just a very magical time. A big thing on the Old Key West. That was my first time staying there, even stepping foot there. So, and I had a few people write in and say, what do you think? What do you think of Old Key West? I was a little surprised at how far away we were, where we
Oh, yeah.
So like the whole internal transportation took me an hour and 20 minutes to bring my mother her like banana bread in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
So I would highly suggest having your own car when you're there,
Like where did you go for banana bread? Like up to Old Key West? Like up to the main store?
Yeah. So they have it at the quick service place, and she saw it at dinner. Well, they don't serve you banana bread at dinner, so you have to go there for breakfast. Well, so she wanted banana bread. So I'm like, okay, I'll go get it. Oh, and a good note too. We ate at like that Olivia's. We ate at Olivia's. My
Oh,
daughter.
I love Olivia's.
Holy cow. It was so good. It was so good. So on Sundays, they have a brunch. So we checked in at brunch time. They're usually closed. And I was like, well, I'd love Mickey Mouse waffles, but I'm gluten-free, dairy-free. I'm like, I can't eat anything anymore. And she's like, oh, honey, we've got gluten-free, dairy-free waffles. I was like, Chef Mickey doesn't even have gluten-free, dairy-free waffles. So I had that not only that night, but then I went back the next morning and had it the next morning.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
And they were so good. So it was really, really great. But so staying there, our room, as everybody's heard, like they were enormous. Like they're fantastic rooms. But my dad, if you were the golfer out there that was right outside our window and we were heckling you, I'm so sorry. They were going by and my dad's, out there going, oh, you can hit it. Oh, that one went in the water. Nice shot. Just everybody that went by, had a comment on their golf swing. So
isn't he like 90 years old?
he was.
I think if you're 90 years old, you get a pass on your trash talking. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he got
Right.
a lot of passes. I
Right.
I don't know if I should even tell you what he did at the top of Topolino's, but you can get away with a lot of things at 90. I'll tell you. It was super fun. So and at Old Key West was such a big resort, and he doesn't. They do have handicap stickers, but they're not handicap. Like they don't have a wheelchair. So, but they didn't want to go into the parks. And if anybody out there has any tips on, handicap accessible, like how to get around or what resorts are best for a handicap, so when we go next time, maybe it won't be so hard. My mom did stumble a bit getting in to the resort because, well, we parked in the handicap parking, but like I don't know. It was just confusing for her and she tripped a little bit.
Were you on first floor?
We did get first floor. We got a handicap accessible room, which was awesome. We couldn't find the silverware, but everything was low, so that was great.
Oh, okay. So it was all wheelchair level. So they just dropped it low.
Yeah, it was legit handicap, like ready. So that was great for them. Like this, it was a huge TV. It was like sitting on the floor. And so they watched the Super Bowl there. And so that was really cool. But we didn't have a wheelchair, but when we came up there, I said, where do I rent one? And they're like, oh, honey, I've got you. So they went around back and they found us a little wheelchair to borrow. So we were able to borrow a wheelchair for the whole time we were there. So that was that. My mom got a little jealous because my dad, we pushed him for 2 days. But we took that wheelchair on the gondola. We took it on the boats. We went
all over, huh?
Yeah. Yep. I was impressed by how easy it was with the wheelchair. So that was, and how to get the boats to get into, I would say, Disney Springs. That would have been hard if they didn't have like me as a motor, because they let you off down at the water and it's this huge hill. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
So, that would have been tough. But I mean, Lauren, she just wrote in and she said to get a scooter. I think we would need 2 scooters. That would be. And
one for mom and one for dad if they're both in their 90s. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And how to do that, I'm hoping. And Mary said she would suggest renting a scooter, from Gold Mobility and Mobility Scooter Company. Yeah. And that would be good to know, on how to get those, and
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm not sure on how all that works, So, but the last thing Dad said when we were at the golf course is, I'll be back. He loved it. He loved it. So it was really cool. We just we didn't go to the parks. We just resort hopped.
Got it. I think Mary brings up a key point here. Is a scooter makes the trip so much more enjoyable once you get over the feeling like you need one.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the hardest thing when we were there with my mom, and she was scheduled for like hip replacement shortly after the trip. So she felt like she didn't need a wheelchair because she doesn't normally use one. But I'm like, Mom, you don't normally clock 30,000 steps a day. Okay.
Yeah.
So just because you don't normally need one, you are now at Disney. Okay. And we are hoofing it. Okay. We need a wheelchair, and getting her past that emotional hurdle. Once she gave in, it made the trip all that much better.
I think my mom had that moment when we were on the gondola because they have separate, walk it like you go to a separate line even
Mhm.
for the gondola, and she's looking around and she goes, you know what? Nobody's looking at us. We're not the only ones. We're not holding up the line. We're not,
Mm.
you know, and she was like, that's when I think she wanted one too.
Yeah, when she realized it's kind of normative there.
Yes,
Okay.
that you don't
It-
have to push on through. Yeah,
yeah, I think that's the key part there. That's the key part.
yeah.
And so Mark was saying that Scoot Around has been his go-to for him going to Disney. So,
So
okay.
do they deliver those to your room then, or I mean, like,
Seems like Scooter Bug now is the official vendor of choice where they'll drop it off at Bell Services. Everybody else you have to meet in person these days. So,
yeah.
and Mary's saying that, it's the standing that kills her.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but now you also have another trip report as well, right?
do.
Because, so
I'll send them, yeah.
I've got,
I'll tell her carriers to come on down.
okay. Oh, you send them a text to bring her down. So,
Yeah.
So for those of you who have been following up with the show, like 2 or 3 shows ago when Alicia was on, she was telling us she was getting a new dog. And we took we saw a picture of it and we started taking some names and she got some name suggestions. And you put together a name from the suggestions from the audience, right?
I did. Yeah, we did. It was so perfect. So because we're a golf course and our last puppy was named Mulligan, and she didn't make it. So, and then we got the new puppy. And so it has to be something kind of golfy, but we're super Disney people. And so you guys came up with the name Chipper. So, and that was just so fun. And then she pooped everywhere. So we added her middle name, Pooh.
Which is also another Disney because we spelled it Pooh,
Yes,
right?
yes. So
So,
her official like AC or AKC name is Chipper Pooh. So
okay. And
so
so
and we didn't even have her not even a week, and we ended up bringing her to Disney. She didn't even bark. Like she's never said a word. And it was so funny.
gotcha. Let's show some pictures because when you brought her to Disney, we
Yeah.
brought her to Best Friends Daycare, right?
We did. So you get a DVC discount with that. Our goal is to get a small enough dog that we can bring with us. We want to travel with her everywhere. And this one is a picture of Chipper as we left. Our cute thing on that is you do get a DVC discount for overnight stays there too, because I don't think there's any DVC locations that we can have our puppy overnight.
No, there's not.
So that's rough, but there is some hotels.
So this was the pickup picture here, right?
Yes. And you
Okay.
can, when you drop them off, you can like request other, you can buy more things. Like, so you can request more walks, you can request more cuddle times, you can request ice cream time, you can request story hour. I'm like, so I'm like, well, she doesn't really walk. Like she doesn't know idea.
It's like a pet spa almost is what it sounded like. Okay.
Oh, and there is a spa also. Like you can do all those treatments too. And so we added on like cuddle time.
I wouldn't mind some cuddle time, some ice cream time, some walk time, some story time. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm like, and I upgraded. I said, I won't put an end time on that cuddle time. You can cuddle with her as long as you want, and she said, and like when my husband picked her up the next morning, he goes, the manager, he goes, good thing the dog's leaving because nobody's got anything done with her around. They cuddle the whole night. Thanks, Drew. Come on over. So here's Chipper,
Oh, hi, Chipper.
Isn't she cute? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Her ears are bigger than her nose is, and she's got lots of little speckles all over her. She's a mini beagle. So she's like the runt of the litter. And so it's so cute. Aren't you happy, kiddo?
Yeah, I'm telling you, right?
She has no idea what we're doing, right?
No. So Brad makes this comment here. They need to add that to DVC resorts, cuddle time.
Doesn't everybody need a little cuddle time? Right. No.
I'm telling you, right? And then, so Lauren writes in, these dogs live better lives than I do.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Well, and if you've
So-
ever flown with a puppy or a dog, I've got some definitely some tips on that one too. So as you go through on the airplane, they have to be 20 pounds or less for most airplanes to like sit by your feet. So my goal is to not fatten her up too much, and that was with the carrier. But once she got out of the car, she wouldn't go to the bathroom anymore, and we're like, where do I take her to the bathroom? Like she goes to the bathroom every 2 hours, like. And so we were like, well, there's nobody around by the family bathroom. So we went in the family bathroom, unhooked her leash, let her run around like a puppy. She went potty. I cleaned it up. I was like, okay, we're good. I tried it on the plane though. That doesn't work so well. There's there's no room to run and play.
No.
But
Well, she's hanging well on this live, man. She's just sitting here like, yeah, Mom, I'm cool. We're good with that. And
she's
I had
doing good.
one more picture you sent in as well. I kind of hate to show it while I got her live, but
No, you're fine. This one's
Right.
true. Yeah.
yeah. So this one is your son with her at
Oh,
Yes, that's a picture of Drew. And the cool thing is you see that window behind there, that goes into the playground area. So when we would camp and things like that, we would bring Mulligan there and we would put her into just like the playground, and you can like check them in just for playtime. So they can play with other dogs, and it's kind of like a daycare.
good deal.
And
Good deal.
if you have dogs, and let's say you're boarding them at home, they have a lot of dog things there that you can buy there that you can't buy anywhere else, like little houses and little like leashes and collars, and so you can bring your loved one. They even have dog treats and cakes, and it's a whole store.
I'm telling you, has anybody else out there used Best Friends Daycare over at Walt Disney World? So we'd like to hear kind of your comments if you tried it, used it. So it sounds like you're a pretty big fan of it there, Alicia.
Yeah.
Sounds like Chipper is too, because
Yes.
she's not growling at us when we're talking about it. So
anything for a beagle. She's so quiet until I turn on the vacuum. Then
all bets are off.
it was so fun. So she's definitely like a Snoopy dog,
So, yeah, I mean, and Vicky makes this comment, "Aw, Chipper." And Gina comments, "So sweet." And then
So we almost used Best Friends Pet Care when we were coming down for an August trip, because we were going to bring our new German Shepherd puppy, who, if anyone has a German Shepherd, they don't stay puppy-sized very long. So if you do have a bigger dog, they do have bigger accommodations for your dog. I think they were going to put ours in the space that was meant for a Great Dane,
Wow.
just because he was so tall. So yeah, if you're looking for big dog space, they have it.
They're indoor, outdoor. I think with the DVC discount was like $40.
Yeah,
So
it wasn't bad.
it was cheaper for me to bring her down there than it was to board up here. So
oh, really?
yeah, and with the airfare, it's $100 on. I think we went Allegiant that time, so it was $100 to fly down. Is how we did that. So, and if you end up having like the what is it called when you're like a special needs dog, or I can't remember the name of that, but
Service animal.
there we go. Yeah. So yep. So if you have a service animal, then they're free even. So. So when you put all of that in perspective, it's sometimes cheaper to bring them with you down there.
Got it. Okay, well, that's some really good stuff there, and I'm glad it worked out well for Chipper and over there.
Yeah.
And it's funny here because Mark's comment here kind of pivots us onto our next topic. Okay, so I do want to say happy Valentine's Day to everybody. And so Samantha's interview will be coming out, I think, a week from Wednesday. Okay, when we get her backstory. And I don't know why, but we ended up recording that thing like 3 or 4 times. And so one of the times we recorded it, Samantha makes this comment to me. She's like, you know what? I'm going to find my spouse somehow through the My DVT Points platform. And so I have not let go of that comment. Okay. Because it's Valentine's Day weekend. I'm married. Alicia's married. Samantha, we got to work on this. Okay. Like before the show and the pre-show, she was just like, yeah, I finally got back on the dating apps again. And I swiped right on a guy with a Mickey hat. So I'm just like going, hey.
That, right.
I'm not telling.
So,
So, anyways, like we wish everybody a happy Valentine's Day, and we wish Samantha some luck here. The thing that I started dying laughing at was Samantha. So, like, what's some of the criteria here that we're looking at?
At least
I don't-
100 points at Polynesian.
There you go, guys. So, 100 points at Polynesian. Our friends at DVC Resale Market can hook you up if you're lacking that. Okay, and we can start some conversations with Sam's there. But that's the minimum bar. Okay.
I think there's got to be a few out there. So if anybody out there has any ideas, start tagging your friends.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, you can just tag them right onto here, and Alicia and I will kind of vet them, and we'll practice our parenting skills here. And go, hey, look, we'll kind of do some weeding for you, Samantha.
Yeah, you'll whittle down the list for me so I can just have like 3 to pick from.
So
I love that the poly points are higher on the list than any age. I'm just saying that age never came up, right? So,
Well, for
Yeah,
most
yeah.
DVC members are older than me, so like it'll work out.
yeah.
Yeah, and Lauren makes a really good comment here that there needs to be a DVC dating app,
Yes. Yes.
right? So that, like, you're full blown pixie dust, right? And Mark was asking, do they have a Disney singles site? And
They should.
I do know that there's a single rider pass holders for Walt Disney World's group that's out there. Okay.
Oh.
So I stumbled on that one day, and then I wasn't even thinking, and I joined it. And then I was just like, oh, I really need to get out of this.
This is not for me.
I was just like going,
because
because in the description it says if you're there for business trips and you have an annual pass, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll find some people and meet up and whatever. It was before I started the podcast, and so yeah, I pulled out of that one quick after I realized what it was. So it's like, no,
So
not going to work there.
So Lauren came in and said a new section for the app. I agree. Kenny, could you please add this to the app?
that is so funny.
Yeah, that's true. That is absolutely true. And so now Mark's adding to put a regional requirement in there as well. So
It's a virtual world. I mean, people from all over,
But if you live in Florida, that's a bonus. I am willing to relocate to Florida.
there you go. Right. So that's kind of our fifth story here, our unofficial one that's pivoting off from Valentine's Day. And we'll let Samantha off the hook here. But I will say this, in that interview, she made me promise that if she does end up getting married from somebody through this deal, that I have to come down and be in the wedding. So
Yes.
I was
Aw.
like, okay, deal. Absolutely, positively.
Yeah.
I'm on it 100%.
Chipper will be your ring bearer.
Oh my gosh, I would love that.
There you go. Okay.
That
So
would be cute.
there you go.
You have to keep us updated because
I will. I will keep you all updated in a group text message.
There you go. I wonder if there's any single meetups down there. You guys always do the magical meetups and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked into it that much, but maybe.
Right?
Yeah, we'll look to see what we can find for you, Samantha. 'Cause
Yes.
you're too great of person for us not to root for you and have some
Oh,
help.
thank
right?
you.
Yeah.
So
Vicky had a cute one of saying that it has to be compatible, so you have to make sure your use years are the same.
oh yeah. Good point there, Vicky. Right? Well, they could have offset use years as well. Okay, so that they always can plan a trip on bankable points. That would also be another deal because Samantha's into this 3-4 times a year. So at that point in time, you start justifying multiple use years. So
Yes.
we might lighten up on the use year requirement.
That is always a big conversation starter. Do you have same use years, opposite use years? That one could go around and around forever.
There you guys go. So anyways, wrapping up this topic, and I do want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight, and we are going to do a special edition user call-in show tomorrow at 3 p.m. So it'll just be a fan call-in show. We're putting together a staff of people. I think Brad Coates is going to join us and a couple of other ladies to have just a staff of 4. And I saw a bunch of comments this week about wanting some first-time questions answered and things along those lines. So tomorrow at 3 p.m., right back here, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you tune into the live show, we'll be back here just doing a question and answer, and we'll have it set so people can just join us from their smartphone Hop in, ask a question, we answer the question, we'll bring the next person in and just kind of rotate people through that way. So I'm looking forward to that one. We're just going to try it out on President's Day. Come to find out, a lot of people have to work President's Day.
I will be tuning in from work. So
kind of spoiled as a government employee or something. I mean, y'all don't get President's Day off. Like bankers get it off, and financial people get it off, and government people get it off. But anyways, so
Well, I gotta say our sweatshirts are pretty snazzy. Just saying, we're all matching today.
Oh yeah. So these are all the app team shirts. So and the little update on the app: as soon as we can get the 2021 rack rates put into it, we will be launching the app. Kenny is viciously working on that. So that's been the last hold up. And then the other thing we have to do is we have to record like a video help file where we kind of walk through that. But we're waiting to get the final build done to record that. So thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. We'll see you hopefully tomorrow at 3. If not, next Sunday night, we'll all be back. And thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thanks for joining us,
Good
Chipper.
night.
Bye.
Good night.